Welcome to Poker Vlog number 46. Today's a special one because we are in Vegas. It's been a long time and it's really exciting. I'm here because I was on Poker Night in America playing with Phil Galfond and other Run It Once content creators. It was absolutely amazing experience. I'm feeling better now, but earlier today I did have this kind of how do you say it, melancholy. I definitely said that wrong, but anyways, I was looking forward to this event so long, not so long, but last few months, that it finally happened and now it's over. And as well, I did a 28-day boot camp that ended yesterday as well, so a lot of special things that are going on are over. And I'm good, you know, I love my life and I love what I'm doing. So it's not like, oh, now I go back to my life. That I really enjoy my life. So that definitely helps with it, but definitely feels like those things maybe when you're looking forward to traveling on a big trip and now it's done, you kind of go back to your routine. It feels a little bit like that way, but I'm feeling good and we can take advantage of last night in Vegas to play at Resorts World. Never played there, and for what I know, you can film there. So I'm not there yet. I'm still at the location where we're staying. I just decided to start here because I kind of want to share the grind. So here we are. I didn't have time to eat because I helped my wife getting the girls showered and is ready for bed. So they're gonna eat now and go to sleep. It's 6:45 and I don't have time to eat. So what we did, I just have my protein shake here. I got some pre-workout, well, not pre-workout, energy drink with nootropics. And for dinner, I got, let's see, let me pull it out. I got some steamed buns. So yeah, this is how it is sometimes. Just, you know, I'm so lucky to have a wife that just helps out so much. We're just like a team. We just grinding it out and making things work. And because I wouldn't have been able to do this without her. She's been super supportive and helping with the girls while I'm playing and being on the show. And anyways, I think that's going to come out in a while, the Poker Night in America. For what Phil told me, it's in fall. So I wasn't planning on filming because I thought I was going to be able to use that content for this vlog. But yeah, doesn't seem like that's the case. I'm going to make a vlog out of it, but it may be in a while. So this was a last moment thing that I'm super excited about doing. So enough talking. Let's head over there and let's jump right to being at Resorts World, and hopefully there's a 2-5 going on, if not a 1-3, and I just realized I haven't signed up, so I'll do that right now, and let's jump over there. All right, let's do it. I'm really excited since it's the first time I'm really going to play poker in Vegas. I have a while back, but I wasn't that serious about poker, so it will be fun. I do take a little bit to start because, to be honest, I was nervous. I only film at Hamul, and I've never filmed another spot, so I took a couple minutes to just go up and talk with the floor, and they were super chill. They just told me don't put any faces, and yeah, that works for me. So by the time we get started, we are up $46. That is nice. And we're 8-handed when we got 9-6 off, Jack 8 suited in early position. I do let it go. 6-3 off, Queen 6 off, 6-4 off, 6-8 off, 3 deuce off, Queen 3 off, 9-6 off, 7-4 off, 5-4 off, 6-4 off, 5-4 suited in the button. I definitely raised, but under the limps, under the one makes it $25. So yeah, just let it go. Queen 6 off, 10-8 suited in the low jack. There is razor in early position, so again I let it go. A6 suited and under the gun 2, I make it $20 and everybody folds. Now next hand we got pocket sixes in the big blind. There's 2 limpers, cutoff makes it $25, and hey, always nice to defend the big blind with the pocket pair, so I do call and so does the limpers. Flop 3-8 jack, so not much going on first, but it does check around, so we have a chance to hit a set on the turn, and we do not. It is a 9, checks around, river's a 4, and when hijack bets $30, yeah, I usually don't see players trying to bluff 4 ways, so I do just let it go. 9-3 suited, ace deuce off, Queen 5 suited, ace 6 off, 4 deuce suited, ace 3 off, 8-3 off, and now we are in a big blind with another one we can defend with. Jack 10 off, cutoff makes it $15, button calls, and I call. Flop is pretty good, 9-10-5, top pair, jack kicker, but when I check, it checks around, turn is a 3, and now let's try to get some value. Definitely, I think my hand is good enough that they both check, and we need protection, and there's plenty of draws, maybe overcards that will call. I make it $30, and only the cutoff calls. River is another 9 that is definitely interesting. I do think the cutoff could have a 9. That's sometimes 3 ways. Is this pot controlling or happy to try to see a turn with his middle pair? And I don't know how many worst cards would be calling here. Maybe if I bet really small pocket pairs below the 9 or ace highs will get curious. But I thought for the most part, he could have 9s and there is plenty of missed draws that maybe try to bluff. So I do check, but no bluff since he checks back. I show and we are good. 5-4 off, 10-8 off. Now on the button with queen jack off. Straddle is going on, so we get $30. And now the big blind 3 bets to 95. And this player, he looks like a REG younger Asian guy that looked aggressive. So I was expecting this to happen. But with queen jack off, I don't think we could defend, so I do let it go. Very next hand, we got pocket 6s again. Low jack makes it $20, and I call, and so does the big blind. Flop, jack high, so low jack bets. I just let it go. 8-6 off, 7-3 off. Now an under the gun with a better pocket pair, pocket 9s. I make it $20, and only the cutoff calls. Flop, 8 jack queen. So with 2 over cards, we do have a gut shot. I'm going to check and see what he does to get some information. I check. So good news when he checks back. Turn is another queen. That's definitely a great card. Less likely he has a queen himself. But still maybe feels a little too thin with our pocket 9s. I check again. He checks back. There is a 4. And now I think my pocket 9s are most likely good. Backdoor flush does come in. But I think if he had a flush draw on the turn, he'd bet it a good amount of the time. And maybe even a jack. So let's try to get some value from an 8 or a pocket pair or ace high. I make it $20. He does call. I show. He shows an 8 and folds. So nice to get value from the 8. Move it on to queen 3 off, 10-3 off. Now we look down at a pretty one. 10-9 suited in the button. 2 limber, so I get $35. Now the big blind, same player as before. The reg 3 bets us to 130. Folds to us, and now this is definitely a hand I think I get to defend with. It does good post flop, and again, this guy is going to be aggressive pre-flop. I can't just be folding all the time, so I do call. Flop is very promising. 7 jack king. We got a double gutter. Any 8 or any queen gives us a straight, so when he bets $90, we're definitely happy to continue, so I call. Turn is sadly not one of those cards. It's another 7. That is interesting since I do think that's better for my range. I think I have way more 7s than he does 3-betting the big blind. I don't know if he has many. I mean, you know, if he's playing properly, pre-flop ranges, button against big blind, definitely he could be 3-betting 7-8, 6-7. So I don't think that often. That is just 4 combos. I think for myself, I have more than he does, and indeed he does check. And I'm going to bet here, this does seem like a tricky spot since maybe sometimes if he has pocket kings and pocket jacks, he just feels invulnerable and may check. But hopefully that's not the case since we are going to try to bluff, try to get some ace highs and jacks to fold. I make it $200, leaving me about pot behind on the river that we could jam, hopefully for value if we hit our straight. And we may need that help since it does not work yet. He does call. River is a jack. So definitely not the run out I was hoping for because I really don't know how many jacks I have in this spot. I don't think almost any. And maybe I'll be jamming here with a 7 myself. It just is such a weird spot to try to bluff. But I don't even have the chance since he leads all in for over pots. So not much to do here apart from folding since we do have 10 high. So that is what we do. Not a fun hand. That brings us down $375, but plenty of time to go. Let's move on to 10-8 off, king 8 off, 10 deuce suited, jack 10 off, 9-3 suited, queen 3 off. Now we're in the button again with a okay one, queen 7 suited. I make it $20 and just the big blind calls. Flop 8-3-10 checks to me, and yeah, one of a card. Usually against recreationals, I'll just always see bet on the flop, but this guy is the reg that looks like he knows what he's doing. So in the moment I do decide to check, turn is a jack. That gives us a gut shot when he checks. I said to check it back. There was a queen. Then I got top pair when he checks. Yeah, maybe I could bet small. In the moment I do just check back, and our queen is good. We'll take it down. Definitely not the most exciting hand. Let's move on to 5-3 off, jack 4 off, ace 7 off, jack 3 off, king jack off, not an under the gun, 5-3 off, 10-5 off, queen deuce off, ace 7 suited in the cutoff. I would raise, but a hijack raises himself, so I let it go. Ace 7 off, 4 deuce off, 6-7 off, 7-6 off, queen 6, 10-4 off, 8-3 off. Now in a hijack with king 9 suited. I make it $20 and everybody folds.
Next hand, we got another one, ace jack off. Again, I make $20 and everybody folds. So definitely wasn't the best game. The recreationals seemed pretty tight and there was a couple of regs, but hopefully it picks up. Let's move on to 8 deuce off, queen 10 off, 7-5 off, jack deuce off, 6-4 off, queen 8 off, jack 6 off. Now we're under the gun with ace queen off. I make $20 and sadly, once again, everybody folds. Down the big blind with 10-9 off, cutoff makes it $15 and good enough to defend. So I do call. Flop though, not much going on for us. King 3-4, so when I check in if it's $20, I just let it go. 5-4 off, 6-4 off, queen 7 off. Now we look down at a OK1, king jack off and a hijack. I make it $20 and just the button calls. This time we do get a way better flop. Queen, queen, jack. We got 2 pair that usually is super strong, but on this one we do have to kind of watch out. There is a lot of straights, but I'm still loving my hand. And I have a strategy that out of position, I check. So that is what I do. He checks back, turn is an 8, and I try to go for value. I do think this is a board that hands will call a small bet. Will very likely call a big bet too. So let's go on the bigger side. I make it $40, but no action to get since he does just let it go. 5 deuce off. Now it's 6-handed and we got ace 5 suited in the big blind, but that makes it $20 and definitely could 3-bet here. In a moment I decide just to call. Flop, jack 7 deuce, checks around, turn is a 5, checks around, river is a 10, checks around, and we are no good against pocket 8s. Very next hand, ace jack off in the small blind, early position raises, and yeah, against early position in the small blind, I'm mostly 3-betting, and this looks a little too weak to 3-bet early position hand, so I just let it go. Queen jack off in the button, under and raises, so I fold. Now we are in the cutoff with king jack off. Folds to us, I make $20 and everybody folds. 6-5 off, king 7 off, 9-6 off, 8 deuce off, 9-6 off. Now look down at a nice one, pocket jacks in the cutoff. But once again, when it folds to me, I make it $20 and everybody folds. So definitely not getting much action pre-flop. And again, not in the next one, since I got ace 3 suited and a hijack folds to me, I make it $20 and everybody folds. So hey, you know, like 100 more times, if we steal the blinds, we'll be breaking even. Let's move on to 8 deuce off, 8-6 off, 3-5 suited, 6-3 suited. Now we're in the cutoff with ace 10 off. I make it $20 and the big blind calls. So we got some action. Let's go to a flop of jack, queen 10. We got a gut shot and it checks to me. I bet $20 and he folds. 7-3 off, and now we look down at a premium ace king suited. We make it $20 and everybody folds. Yeah, queen 4 off. Now in a small with pocket jack, slow jack makes it $15, and this one's definitely good enough to 3-bet. I make it $70, and he just lets it go. Not much going on. Most of this is pre-flop, but no worries. Some hands are going to come up pretty soon. Jack 8 off and a button, $20. Everybody folds. Down the cutoff with pocket 7s. I make it $20. Now the small blind 3-bets to 65. So this player, I haven't seen him 3-bet, and he looked like a recreational, so definitely looked on the stronger side, but for just a little over 3x, we're in position with a pocket pair, I do call. Flop is very interesting. 4 king 5. So we do have the 7 of spades, so we got a flush draw and this one overcard to our pocket pair, and we do have backdoor straight. So when he bets $50, we're definitely not going anywhere yet. We could be good, and if we're not, the flush draw we have may be good. So I do call. Turn is another king. That is definitely great. Less likely he has a king himself. And when he checks, I think I'm happy to get a showdown on pocket 7. So I do check back. River is a 3. And now he bets $50. Very, very small bet. And what this looked to me was a pocket pair that was going thin for value, block betting, trying to get the showdown. So once he bet this size, I didn't think my pocket 7s were good here anymore. It just looked like, you know, pocket queens, pocket jacks, maybe pocket 10s, just depending what he's 3-betting, because I think he's betting a lot on the turn with a king, with a flush. And if he did check those on the turn, he's definitely betting a lot bigger on the river, trying to get as much value as possible. So in a spot that I thought he was weak, but not weak enough that my pocket pair is good. Another hand I definitely think you could have here is pocket aces, since that is a scary turn and he is losing against a good amount of hands. And I do think I could get all these pocket pairs to fold. So let's do it. I'm gonna get $325. He starts thinking and thinking and thinking, and he does not call, but he does not fold either. He rips it all in for, yeah, he about $1,000. And here we are with our pocket sevens, thinking, why didn't I just call? And yeah, definitely not calling this size, so I do let it go. And he flips over pocket kings for turn quads. So I guess if some hand makes sense played this way, it's pocket kings. That just doesn't think he could get value from much after it checks back on the turn. So he bets tiny and makes the new dude just lose his mind. And so yeah, definitely bad timing. Bluffs have not been working so far, and that does bring us down $755. Yeah, not the most fun what we're hoping for playing in Vegas, but let's just keep it going. Queen 9 off, 10-8 off, 7-4 off, 8 deuce off, ace deuce off, 4 deuce suited, pocket fours in early position. Definitely mixing up my strategy, just folding these small pocket pairs in early position. So that is what I do.
All right, so you could say things aren't going great. Just not many spots, pretty tight games, getting a lot of folds, pre-flop and post-flop, not much going on. And the times I decided to bluff, just seems like I ran into it when the guy donked all in on the river, and then yeah, when I raised and he had quads. My thought was most likely he had like queens, jacks, some underpair below the king that was going thin for value, that I thought I could get a fold. So, you know, I'm working on it. I'll share that with the group of the boot camp and see what they think. It's work in progress, you know, being more aggressive, finding the right spots, you know, trying to cap the opponent's range. So I'm not sure about that one. I just didn't think my sevens were good, and I didn't just want to call and let him go thin for value. So I decided to turn my sevens into a bluff. And yeah, I just ran into it this time. So doesn't mean the bluff was bad. I don't know if it's good. Maybe I'll talk with them and add after what they shared, so you guys know what the group thinks. But anyways, gonna take a little break and head back in, top off the be back at 1,000, or hopefully the second half of the session goes a little better.
Let's get back to it. Ace 8 off. Now the big blind with king 10 off. Small blind makes it $15, and I'm actually not used to playing blinds against blinds in the usual spots I play, since we always chop, so it'll be fun. I call. Flop is ace 6 10, so middle pair king kicker pretty good. When he checks, I check back. Turn is 8. He bets $15 now, and happy calling. River is a king, so pretty nice. 2 pair. When he checks, I bet $35 and no more value since he does this. Let it go. 3 deuce off, king 7 off, 8-5 suited. Now in the hijack with pocket fives, I make it $20. Get the button and big blind call. Flop 7 king jack, so definitely not the best for my pocket fives. So I checks around, turn is 8, big blind bets $40, and I just fold. King 5 off, 10-3 off, 9-5 off. Now we in the button with a decent one. Ace 10 off, hijack limps. I make it $25, and he calls. Flop jack 7, so checks to me, and as I said, just going to be usually c-betting half pot. I make $25, and he calls. Turn, probably one of the worst cards to be bluffing on, another 7. So when he checks, yeah, he's calling a flop with jacks. Not that often. I think jacks are check raising a lot on the flop with sets that draw heavy board, but plenty of 7s, and I don't even know if I need to bluff here since my ace high. This very likely may be good, so I think I have plenty of showdown value here. I check back. River is at 8. That, yeah, brings in flushes and straight. So when he bets $60, this player, I just don't think he's bluffing here, so I do let it go. And he shows me jack 7. So yeah, he had the flop full house. So what seemed like a bad turn was actually amazing, because I was definitely betting the turn a lot since I thought jacks were going to be check raising a lot on the flop or turn. So yeah, that turn definitely saved me some money. Let's move on. 5-3 suited. Now we're in the hijack with ace 8 suited. I make it $20 and just get the button to call. Flop is pretty good. Ace 7 6. So we got top pair. And, you know, some backdoor straights going on for us. And out of position, I check. He bets $20 and happy calling with top pairs. That is what I do. Turn is a king. I check again, and now he bets $70. That definitely pretty big. Basically, tiny bit over pot. But yeah, after checking out of position with my top pair, I'm not going anywhere. He could still have straight draws, flush draws, and yeah. When you check to people being out of position, sometimes they just start bluffing. So yeah, not going anywhere. I call. River, not great though. It's a 3 of spades, so now it brings in the flush, and I check, and he bets $225. So, yeah, this is just the bummer of being in a place I just don't know the opponents. I don't know if this guy's just going to triple barrel bluff because I checked to him, especially on an ace-high board when the flush comes in, but altogether, maybe I probably would flick in the call a lot more if the flush missed, but when it comes in, unless he's just turned complete air into a bluff, deciding that I wouldn't check with a strong hand. I just thought most likely this is value, especially when a flush comes in, so I do just let it go. So you'll never know if a pair of aces was good. Let's move on. 10-7 off, king 4 off, 8-3 off, 7-8 off, ace 3 off, 8-6 off. Now in the big blind, king 10 off. Cutoff makes it $15. Small blind calls and good enough to defend, so I call as well. Flop is good, 8-5 king, so top pair 10 kicker. When it checks at the cutoff, he bets $20. Small blind folds and I call. Turn is a 9, I check, he bets $70. And yeah, just hoping that my top pair is good here, not going anywhere after defending the big blind, since I do think he'll be burning a lot. Hopefully he checks back the river. I call, river is at 8. I check, and we see the good news when he does check back, I show, and he mucks. So that's definitely nice. Moving on to the very next hand that we get an upgrade. Ace king off in the small blind, same play as before. Hijack makes it $15. Button calls and let's 3-bet. I make it 80 and they both call. So here we go. 3-way 3-bet pot out of position with ace king. This is going to be interesting. Flop, not what you're hoping for in the spot. 10-4-8 and out of position, a 3-bet pot, especially with 2 players ahead of me. I just have a check range strategy, so I check. Let me show you good news when it checks around, and good news is even better since the turn is a king. It does bring in the flush, but I thought the players in position would be betting sometimes with a flush draw, and I thought my hand is good most of the time here, and I don't just want to give a free card for them to hit if they have a heart in their hand, so I make it $100, and this is the hijack calls. River is what this session feels like, a 6 of hearts, so our hand definitely got downgraded. Since now any heart is beating us, so I check and he bets $425, so slightly under pot. And yeah, if this player is bluffing us, I think it kind of is what it is. This just looks like he has a flush. I mean, I don't know what's calling that turn that we're beating right now, because if he had a king, well, most likely he'll check that back unless he has a heart. I don't think he's going to turn one of those hands with a pair into a bluff that often. I mean, again, I'm very new to this area, so I don't know how these players play, but I just think I'm not good, so I let it go. Very next hand, king 9 suited and a button, 1 limper. I'm going to get $25. Small blind 3-bets to 100. Folds to us, and yeah, this is definitely borderline, and players have been a little more aggressive pre-flop, so maybe I should be defending this one, but I'm not feeling it, honestly. I just was kind of fed up with the session. I was already mentally preparing to just call it a night, so I do just let it go. But we're going to have to play one more, since, again, we have 7-5 suited in the cutoff, folds to us, and that is good enough to raise. So make it $20, and again, the big blind 3-bets to 75, and this one is definitely not close, especially against the big blind 3-betting, so I just let it go. King 4 off, we fold, and that is it. I was really just feeling like I was getting ran over after these last few hands. I was very out of it, honestly, just down over $1,000 in sets a small period of time, just running pretty bad. And yeah, just a few bluffs I did just not working out, and honestly, it was a very expensive trip, resulting with this loss. And you know, when you play poker, you just gotta listen to how you feel and be honest. And honest right now, I was in no mental state to play. I was highly tilted. So when that is happening, let's just call it a night. That is the most profitable option to do. So that is what we do. Let's rack up cash out and talk about the session.
All right, well, that is it. I called it early. I ended like little under 2 hours before I was planning, and just not feeling it. Big part of poker is knowing when to stop playing when you're not feeling your mind's in it, and that's how I feel right now. It's been a very emotional few days. Honestly, earlier I was kind of not feeling it completely, but I pushed myself. I thought it was a good chance just to log on another spot. Vegas, I'm here, might as well play. But yeah, I gotta be aware of how I feel, how I'm playing. game wasn't the best and I wasn't playing my best, so I don't want to be losing more money. It was pretty brutal as it was, so I decided to cut the losses. I'm not sure about how I played. I'll share it with the group about those few spots I bluffed, because a big chunk of my losses was just me bluffing and not working out, and people just having monsters against me too. So yeah, it can be results oriented. Maybe I actually shared what the group said on the blog, let's see. But anyways, hopefully things turn around a little bit, because this visit to Vegas has been pretty expensive, because the show went great for content wise. I think I was a big part of it. I did a lot of action, you know, I found spots, but same thing, I didn't run my best and ended in the red. One of the spots was I just made a massive bluff on a cash game, and a guy called me super light, pretty crazy light, that I'm still amazed that he called me. Anyways, that will be coming up, and let's not rant too much. I'm just gonna go home, sleep, and we'll head back to San Diego tomorrow morning and back to the usual vlogs at Hamul. And hopefully next vlog we could book a win, because I think we're down 3 for 3. Really bad running vlogs. Like, I'm not sure exactly, but I think like the last 5 out of 6 are losing sessions. So yeah, anyways, thank you all for watching. As usual, you can subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll see you guys next time.